All right, Tiger fans, welcome to week number 7 of the Oklahoma High School football season. We've got your Tahlequah Tigers taking on the Pryor Tigers, and I'm joined in the box tonight once again by Ashley Stevens. How are you, Ashley?
I'm good, excited to be here, Mark, ready to get the ship headed right in the right direction again this week, as we have a good matchup on hand tonight between the Pryor Tigers and the Tahlequah Tigers. I expect it to be a much different outcome. However, it is cold and wet. Tends to slow things down, makes that ball a lot harder to hold on to. So I guarantee you Gilbert has got those boys coached up on protect the football today.
Oh, you know he has. And you're right, man. You got the rain falling, a little bit cooler temperatures. And I will tell you this, there's probably maybe a quarter of the people that were here last week.
Yeah, absolutely. Stands are empty. And a lot of that has to do with the weather. It is wet and dreary. Why come to the game when you can sit and listen to us, Mark?
That's right. So if you're like some of the people I know that are sitting at home, in their recliner eating Cheetos, drinking a cold pop, then enjoy that, which I'm not cold. This is prime weather for me. It could even be a little cooler.
Well, Mark, I prepare for this weather all year long. I'm like a bear. I eat and consume lots of carbs, stack up those calories, and continue to do so all throughout winter. It helps me to stay warm.
That's right. Me too, until the doctor told me this week I had to quit doing that.
So your Tahlequah Tigers, they're going to be in the black and orange uniforms tonight with the orange helmet, and the Pryor Tigers are going to be all in white, and they will be coming out here shortly as they are gathering up under the Tiger on the south end of the field.
Pryor Tigers taking the field right now.
Pryor Tigers coming off a loss last week. They played East Central. A lot of people have some question marks about East Central, who Tahlequah faces, I believe, next week.
Yes.
They have some talented football players, and they got the best of Pryor last week. So Pryor coming off a loss, Tahlequah coming off a loss off of that big crowd last week where the wheels just kind of fell off in a 43-8 spanking. But I can assure you right now that Tahlequah has practiced hard all week. They want to get ready and take out some frustration tonight on the Pryor Tigers to get back to their winning ways that we've come to expect here in Tahlequah.
That is correct, and Pryor Tigers, in numbers-wise, they don't have as many numbers as Tahlequah, which means they may be playing some Ironman football. Also, they've got some big guys, but they, from what I understand from our coaching staff, those big guys can be a little slow. So it'll be interesting to see the speed of the Tigers' offensive lineman, like Blake Corn, who's not exactly, he's not a 6'5", 300-pounder, but he's quick and powerful. It'll be interesting to see what he'll do against some of these bigger guys.
That's a good point about Blake. He plays way above his stats. He plays very big, very fast. Most times when he's there, he's ready to make a tackle. So as most of the Tahlequah players do, they play well above what they are statistically rated. So here's a fake little onside by Pryor. Now they're going to reset and look to kick deep. Little gimmicky football. I'm not a big fan of gimmick football, Mark. I like to just line up and say, I'm going to whip your tail to the man right across from me.
It's like the swing and gate PAT. I hate that junk. A little pooch kick will be fair caught by Colton Booth at the 35. So the Tigers with great field position. I think that right there may be one of two things. Pryor doesn't trust their coverage on kickoff, or they do not want Day-Day Leathers touching the ball.
That's a very good point, and I would say that it's at least both. It's at least both. I try to keep it out of Day-Day's hands if I was Pryor as much as possible. And as tonight, I would expect to put it a lot in Day-Day's hands. Get him back on track. He's averaging well over 100 yards a carry. Last week was a little different.
100 yards a game.
100 yards a game, that's correct. Good pickup around the edge right there on a little jet sweep play by the Tigers.
Kobe Baker on the carry. And Tate Christian is your quarterback here starting off for the Tigers, number 12. Got to give a shout out. We are joined in the booth tonight by the coach of the academic team, longtime math teacher, Eric Jones. I do not have a microphone for Mr. Jones, so we might have him guest commentate here in a little bit. We can interview him. And hard count there by the Tigers. Christian trying to draw them off sides. It is 1st and 10 from just inside the Pryor Tiger territory. It's on the 49-yard line, downhill side of the 50. On that NSU logo, there's a snap, handoff to Leathers. He's hitting the backfield and gets away, and actually right there, that was number 71 or 2 that hit him, and that is Chayton Dale of the Tigers. He is 6'5", 330, and he got in the backfield, but he was too slow to catch Leathers.
You know, and that's another thing we've said week in and week out about Day. It's that ability to make the first man miss. That guy may get his hands on him, but it's rare that the first man makes a tackle. And so most of his yardage, if you look at over the 1,000 yards that he's gained this season, most of that is yak yardage. Here he goes to the edge. He's to the 40, to the 35. He could go. He's at the 30, 25, 20, 15, 10. He will go, Mark Jordan.
Leathers in for a touchdown, and I see none of those hard-to-see pink flags. So with less than a minute off the game clock, folks, it's 11:08. The Tigers jump up 6-0, and that's what you want to see. You want to see your foot on the gas and do not take it off.
Once again, Day Leathers showing his speed, gets to the outside, gets to the edge, makes another man miss. First man can't bring him down, and then he is gone. He's got that go-fast speed, Mark. I expect him to have another big day today, and again, be well over 100 yards by the end of the game. Great offensive series, exactly what the Tigers wanted to do, exactly how you want to come out when you just basically had your first offense blank last week, is come out and have a statement drive, and I believe they've done that today.
That's right, and, talking about Leathers, he went into that game, as you mentioned last week, rushing over 100 yards a game, and I believe Collinsville held him to about 29 yards.
That is
and so, he's already doubled his production from last year just about. I got to give a shout-out tonight, actually. I just got a text from my wife saying Lisa Yahola wanted us to show the coin toss and national anthem. So I apologize, Mrs. Yahola, we didn't get to that today, but we'll try to do that at some point. Next game, Thursday night in Tulsa.
So the Tigers are now set to kick the ball off to the Pryor Tigers, who will be going north to south. Line drive, bobbles he's to the 15, now to the 20, to the 23. He's going to be wrapped up and brought down by a whole host of Tigers at the 25-yard line. I like that. I like kicking that ball when it's wet like that. Make it difficult to handle. Give us a chance on that, just like him bobbling the return.
That's right. Now we're going to see that Tiger defense that took a beating last week. They should be licking their chops, wanting some revenge. Pryor comes out. Their quarterback is number 1, Trapper Gilstrap. He's a 5'10" junior, 171 pounds. Handoff to the tailback, and he will be tackled by Trey Patrick over here just inside the 30. Number 25 on the carry, Bobby Ballou. He's a 5'9" freshman. So they've got a freshman running the football.
That's a nice little play. They motion to the strong side and then run that counter to the backside. Actually caught our outside linebacker squeezing in that time, and Trey did a good job of helping hold that contain.
Number 7 on the carry, and he slowed down in the backfield by Dylan Parrish, I believe, and he's finally finished off by Simon Escalera, it looks like.
Great job by a pursuing defense there. At least 3 Tigers had first dibs at him, and then the final 2. So you had at least five on defense. And like I said, Wilson preaches that 9-5-9 defense. It was good to see him pursuit of the ball, stay hooked up, only giving up a minimal gain there. So we look to see Pryor, who runs the ball 65% of the time, looking to probably in a passing formation here in 3rd and long.
There's the snap. Quarterback drops back. He's looking to throw it, but he's got nowhere to go, and he is going to be wrapped up by number 50. Was it Corn on that?
50. Corn finished him off there, number 50.
Bear Thompson,
Great
number
job
50.
by the defense. That pocket collapsed. He felt the pressure, tries to get up. Defensive tackles do a good job in gap assignments. It's going to force the Pryor Tigers, to punt 4th and long at their own 29-yard line.
There's the snap. Punt is away. Tumbling in over in. It hits right at the 35. Taken by the Tiger. I didn't get his number. Makes a couple guys miss. And he'll be wrapped up around the 37-yard line, 38-yard line, depends on where they spot it. That was Kobe Baker.
Always makes you nervous when they field those one-hoppers, but he secured it nicely.
Especially a one-hopper on a night like this where it's drizzling and that ball's slick as a deer's gut.
I'm glad you went with that analogy.
It is deer season, Ashley. I'm thinking I might take the old stick string out tomorrow and see what I can't see down my ancestral lands at Menard Road.
There you go. Tigers locks out trips to the long side of the field. Hand off to Day Leathers. Look at that push that the Tiger O-line has gotten right there. You know, the Tigers push forward for 3 yards before the defensive line ever even touches Day. And that's a good pickup of about 4, maybe 5 by Day. And, again, just good up-front push by the Tigers. Same formation as they check to the sidelines with Coach Gilbert. Tate's doing a good job making sure everybody's on the same page. Trying to get around the edge, but he's ran down from the backside, but he picks up about a yard to gets to the 45-yard line. Should bring up about 3rd and 3 for the Tahlequah Tigers. Tate's got to really do a good job of selling that he's got the ball as he hands it off to really help keeping that defensive end, that backside linebacker to stay home. Because otherwise they're just going to tee off and try to run down Day the way they did on the previous play. Johnny Football in motion. Handoff up the middle. There goes Day.
There he goes.
He's to the 35, to the 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. He's gone. Touchdown, Tahlequah.
And Ashley, there was a hole big enough to drive a truck through right there.
My goodness, Mark. I don't believe he was touched. Not a single time was he touched on that play. Fantastic run. That's about a 52-yard scamper.
So that's 2. He's had one for 40 and now one for 50.
So in about 2 more carries, he's going to have his 100-yard per game average, making up for last week. He's saying, Coach, like Ezekiel Elliott, feed me.
That's right. That's right.
Kick is up, and it is good. Tigers jump out on the Pryor Tigers 14-0, making quick work of their offense.
I got to give a shout-out for our broadcast crew tonight, Ashley. We have producing tonight is Maria Mojica and Edwin Palomares. On camera 1, we have Charlotte Knott. And on camera 2, we've got the duo of Alicia Kuntihi and Amelia Garcia out here working extra hours above and beyond the average school day. And I'm not paying them. I'm just going to tell you that right now. No matter how much Edwin wants me to take in to Burger King after the game, I've got 3 mouths to feed at home. And I got to buy a brand new pair of shoes a la Merle Haggard.
Kick's a pooch kick. Be taken about the 21-yard line. He's to the 30. Gets out to about the 35-yard line before he's brought down by the Tigers.
You know, Ashley, on that play right there, if number 4 would have been thinking a little bit, he would have let that ball go out of bounds, and they would have had it at the 35 anyway.
Same
but
place. He wouldn't be as tired.
He wouldn't be as tired, and,
Giving shout-outs, I believe Edwin did want us to say, Te quiero mi mamá mucho. So
yeah.
for the non-Spanish speaking folks out there, he just wanted to let his mama know that he loves her. So. For you folks who do speak Spanish, that was spot on dialect too, by the way. Handoff he's a keeper. He's very patient by that quarterback. He's brought down by a whole host of Tigers at about the 42-yard line. It's a very interesting play. Almost looked like a busted play call the way he stood back there and kind of waited for that play to develop.
Well, actually, those are some big linemen. Let me read you the size of these linemen, offensive linemen for Pryor. The left tackle, 6'4", 325. Left guard, 6'2", 304. The center, 6'5", 330. And then on the right side, it drops off, 5'10", 203 in the right guard. Right tackle, 6'3", 217. Tight end, 6'4", 220. But that left side, that might be the biggest left side of an offensive line we've seen this year or will see. Those are some big dudes.
They are some big young men right there. Little connection to the Pryor offense. My cousin, Zachary Cowan, actually is the offensive line or helps with the offensive line coach. And the ball boy for Pryor Tigers is his son, and the ball boy for Tahlequah Tigers is my son. So we got a little cousin matchup tonight. So
there we go.
A lot of pressure on the good Tigers to win, right? You know, Pryor tries to do a good job of being balanced on both sides of the ball, to not give a tendency to where they run like here to the strong side. That's a good play right there. You know, just overload the side and just follow them.
And that's enough for a first down.
Try to get to your numbers and run behind the strength of your offense.
Wilson's going to run corn back out there. Get a little bit of size out there. I'm noticing one thing, too, folks, on the depth chart I have. It looks like Pryor has shuffled their line around. So they've spread out some of those big boys. They're not all piled up on the left side now. Matter of fact, I don't know that they've had a tight end in the game tonight. Well, I guess they got him set back, more like an H-back. Pass.
Put your man coverage on the top, and they're going to call pass interference, and I don't know about
Boy,
that.
Ashley,
that's a tough call to make right there.
You know, the
coverage.
The last
They're
time
calling for pass interference.
The last time I said anything even remotely against the officials, we got a call in saying I was bad-mouthing the officials, but I think it might be worth it. I don't know that was a very good call.
Well, you don't see Gilbert very often very fired up, and he is letting the line judge have it because we both know that was a terrible call. That's just good coverage. You tell him, Gilbert. I'll tell him for you. If I was down there with you, Gilbert, I'd be chanting line judge right now just to get our point across.
I mean,
that was fantastic coverage.
You know, the deal is, Ashley, that ball was uncatchable. That skipped on the ground.
It's going to be an incomplete pass because that was a forward pass. Had that been behind him, it would have been a fumble.
As a baseball coach, I got to give number 7 some credit on that. That looked like a shortstop fielding a ground ball right there for Pryor, number 7.
Another good play design there by Pryor. They line up in doubles and then motion into a bunch package and try to throw that bunch screen to see, helps identify, number one, if Tahlequah is in man coverage or not, or if they're in zone and they run that bunch screen out there. That puts them in a great formation. So,
low snap. We got a flag on the play.
That's got to be a legal procedure. It looked like there was a man in motion at the time of the snap.
The head referee threw that, yes.
A legal shift is going to be the call, Mark. Had two guys in motion at the time. One guy started a little bit early while the other one was in motion. So it's going to be a 5-yard penalty.
And Coach Gilbert is still talking to the line judge.
He needs to. Because that's unacceptable. That's just good coverage. And I'm going to be on his side the whole way. There was nothing but incidental contact, had nothing to do, wasn't holding. I mean, just great coverage. And for them to call a pass interference, I just vehemently disagree with that call.
That was egregious. How you like that word?
Today is going to be word of the day.
I better stop. People are going to call in, and I'll get in trouble. Give a shout-out tonight to another math teacher, Charlie Holderby, and the Holderby clan. I think they're watching at home, not coming out because of this weather. Pass over to number 7. Complete at the 35. Wrestled out of bounds by number 2, Trey Patrick of the Tigers. But Holderby, he's probably at home in his PJs eating some kind of fried chicken or something like that and listening to us on the game. And all I got to say is, Charlie, you should be here. You should be here.
Pryor comes out in trips formation at the top side of the field. He's being pressured. He's to keep it run. Good job by the Tiger defense.
And at number 34, who was number 34 for the Tigers? Actually, that guy That is Isaac Strain. He
Isaac
came
Strain.
in there like a missile.
He is averaging 1 sack a game. That's pretty phenomenal for a high school football player.
That's pretty good.
6-7 games in, he's averaging a sack a game. That's pretty phenomenal. Does a great job getting to the outside, forcing him, and then running him down. Again, Pryor Tigers come out again, single back, trips formation. Looks to his right, looks back to his left. Again, it's being forced out by Isaac, and bam!
Wrapped up.
Down. That's Blake Korn and number 34. Again, Isaac Strain and Blake Korn in on the sack.
And that's a turnover on downs.
Great job, great stand by the Tigers. Exactly what we wanted to see.
So if there was any question, and I don't want to count my chickens before they hatch, but if there's any question as to how the Tigers would respond to last week's game, I think those are being answered. With 4:28 to go in the first quarter, Tigers have their third possession already. Third offensive possession. Well, be the only possession. I guess there's no defensive possession. Leathers on the carry. He's up to 39. Gain of 2. That'll be 2nd down and 8.
Tigers looking to the sideline for the call. I know that Coach McClure, Coach Gilbert were not happy with the performance last week and became it a point of emphasis this week to really focus on what they do and to do it right, to do their job and to focus on the little things. I know they spent a lot of time this week on that, harping on that, doing their job. They'll play action pass out of the gun. It was batted away by the linebacker.
Pryor Tiger, that's number 25, Bobby Ballou. That's that freshman, number 25. You know, you don't see a lot of freshmen start, especially in 5A football.
Yeah, 5A, 6A football, you get a freshman out there starting, and he must have a future about him.
Yes.
The pass was intended for Simeon Armstrong. You know, anytime Simeon's on the field, we're trying to put the ball in his hands in some way. He's just so fast.
Hand off to Leathers. Big hole, and he drops it. It is recovered. Be 4th and short. 4th and about 2.
Looks like they're going to send the punt team out. Maybe.
I could be wrong, but it looks like they're going to run offensive play right here.
I like it. I like it, Mark Jordan.
I do
their
too.
Defense is playing. Get up. There he goes. He's got him daylight. Breaks one. Trying to outrun him. And he is brought down, and they're going to mark it about the 26-yard line, maybe to the 25. I thought he was going to go, Mark.
I did too. He was dragging him. If he could have just got his jersey loose, he would have been gone.
Great play call. I'm always a big fan of going for it, Mark. Checks sideline for the play call. They come out and run that hard count. See if they can catch them jump off sides. The Tigers in trips. Rolls to the right. Tate rolls, trying to get to the outside. Stretches it. And he's going to be brought down for a big loss of about 4 on the play. Should bring up 2nd and about 14 from the 31 or 30. They've got him marked at 30, so maybe only a 3-yard loss. Trying to get to the outside there. They do a good job of forcing him to stretch it out. Wide receivers out there blocking. He just couldn't catch the edge. So here we go, checking the play. Got a lot of guys sitting at the house watching this today, so we appreciate you guys listening to us. Hopefully we can jump into the top 5 this week, Mark. I'm right. A little vain like that, I'll be honest with you.
We were in the top 6 broadcasts last week. We were ahead of schools like Owasso and Tulsa Union, which is big time. And if you're watching this and you're wondering why sometimes there's some dead time, it's because Ashley and I get a crazy amount of text messages from people watching, and they're telling us, hey, we can't hear this, or we can't hear that, or this is right, or this is wrong. And so we're constantly trying to answer those and fix, like I just made an adjustment on one of our mic volumes, so hopefully that stuff works.
Nice ball. Good. Cole Goodnight dragging, folks. Dragging him all the way down to the 10-yard line. What a great play. Should have been tackled right then. Rolls out of an open field tackle, and I've said that week in, week out, open field tackles are the hardest tackles to make in all of football. Does a great job spinning out, getting that extra yardage, and picks up a 1st and 10, and that's going to bring up 1st and goal for the Tigers, Mark.
And, you know, Ashley, Goodnight as a player, he gets some looks from some colleges in football. Some of the smaller Division I schools, they like what he does. He's a big athletic kid. He's strong, good work ethic, and he's smart.
And he's really smart. Comes from a smart family. If you know his dad, then, oh, mercy.
Fumbled the football there, and it looks like Pryor recovered it.
It looked like he was trying to pump fake, and that ball's wet and slick and just popped right out of his hands. And turnover inside the red zone, those are tough. That's a big pill to swallow, but time for defense to stand up. I want to clarify something when I said, oh, mercy, if you know his dad. Kevin's a great guy, Kevin Goodnight. So I wasn't saying, oh, mercy, if you know Kevin. But I do believe he gets his smarts from his mom. I believe their other son just graduated law school. So very talented family, very big supporters of Tahlequah athletics, from baseball to basketball to football. So there's handoff inside, and he is gobbled up quickly by the Tahlequah defensive line. That top side defensive end there, getting good penetration from the outside.
You know, one thing I'm noticing, Ashley, is you see those big linemen for Pryor, they really can't handle the athleticism of our 3-down linemen we're putting out there, because they're getting by them or through them or around them before they can do much, and this is going to be a good tackle in the backfield as well.
Fantastic. 3 Tigers on that tackle right there. He tries to stretch to the outside, and that's number 33. Is that Simon Escalera who leads the charge there? Says, not today. Much different defense to this game than last week, Mark. You know,
big time.
Playing faster, playing a little looser, and getting after some folks. Timeout on the field. Looks like, oh, I'm sorry, it's going to be the end of the first quarter. Can't see the scoreboard on there. So a good first quarter for your Tahlequah Tigers as they're on top, 14-0. What do you think so far, Mark?
Well, I think a couple things. I think it's good to see the Tigers respond to this. I'll tell you one thing, you know, in the hallway, you didn't see guys moping around, and last week was in the last 4 years, one of the biggest regular season, for lack of a better word, whippings we have taken. And they didn't seem to dwell on it. It was just kind of a matter of let's move on to Pryor. So I'm proud and happy to see that at the end of one, we're up 14-0. Had the chance to be up 21-0. We were knocking on the door if it wasn't for the fumble, and I blame that on conditions. I'm glad to see that big offensive line of Pryor. When I saw that today, when Coach Gilbert gave me the depth chart, I mean, I was shocked at how big those dudes were. But I've been pleasantly surprised that they're kind of slow, and our smaller defensive linemen are able to get around them. Our linebackers are playing well tonight. It's been a good answer to what we had last week for sure.
Absolutely.
There's a screen pass. That's the biggest play from the line of scrimmage, I believe, right there for the Pryor Tigers.
Brought down by number 5, Dylan Parrish. Dylan's father, I believe, is a former Pryor Tiger himself.
I believe he is. I saw that on Twitter.
His wife lets him cheer for Pryor all throughout the year, except for tonight.
That's right.
And I'm fairly certain he's not cheering for him tonight, especially after that big play by his son. There's a flag on the play there, Mark, top side of the field.
Let's see what the call is. Is that illegal lineman downfield? Hand on top of the hat? I believe is what the call is. Ineligible receiver. So that's going to back them up a little bit. Oh, pardon me, folks. Brad Gilbert chose to decline that. He'd rather have the loss on down, I bet, which will bring up 2nd and 10 from the 26-yard line. There's the snap. Quarterback drops. He's got all day back in the pocket. Good protection. Pass almost picked off. And we have flags everywhere.
That's definitely got to be a block in the back as Kobe Baker trying to gather himself as 2 guys hit him in the back.
What happened on that, actually, Trey Patrick tried to cut the pass off, made a good play trying to intercept it. But when a cornerback does that, if they connect on the pass, a lot of times they'll get some play. And it was a block in the back against the Pryor Tigers. So let's see where
the 10 from the spot. So that actually should put them back inside the.
Still a first down though.
I guess that is good enough for a first down, Mark.
Yeah, that was a pretty good gain for the Tigers. They're still in their own territory though. Ball at the 38-yard line. Excuse me. Had to take my shoes off, count that high.
You know, that's if you're going to run that screen play, you're going to have a cool head about you. And Blake does a good job of pressuring the quarterback there, causes that ball to sail over his running back's head there. You can see immediately when the linemen are all there, you got 3 of them coming right at you. You know they're running that screen play.
Yep, that's right. Pryor once again in shotgun. There's the snap. Quarterback drops back, getting good protection. He's got a lane. He passes it, and it is dropped.
Great coverage there by Dylan and Trey Patrick. Dylan letting him know about it a little bit as he heads back to the huddle.
Quayshawn Leathers also on the on coverage there for the Tigers.
Quayshawn, as we know, is Day-Day's brother. The future's bright for these young Tigers, I can assure you that. As excited as I am about this season and how special it is, I'm even more excited about the future and what is being built from the youth program to the junior high program to what is happening in Tahlequah. It's a great, great time to be a Tiger, Mark.
Great time to be a Tiger. I mean, our cheerleading team made it to state. Softball team just made it to state. Football sitting at 5-1. Expect big things from our baseball team this year. Girls basketball.
That right there is a big-time move by Blake Korn. Blake Korn, he tries to speed rush to the outside, and then he spins back inside, forces the quarterback back to his left, and he runs him down with a little assistance and brings him down for a tackle. That was big time. Once again, that's Blake Korn playing above his stats. That's him playing as a 6'3", 6'4" type player, not the size that he truly was just then. Did a great job on defense there. So Pryor Tigers back to punt. He's going to get it away. And they're going to call running into the kicker there on the Tigers. It's fielded, makes one man miss. Little jump cut. Gets to about the 30-yard lines before he's brought down by about 4 of them.
Now, I didn't see the running into the kicker, but let's hope that's not the personal foul variety.
No, it shouldn't be. If they call personal foul, that's rough because it was straight up just running into the kicker. It should be the 5-yard variety.
And the Whitecap, when he did call, he held up a 5. So it will be a 5-yard penalty tacked on to the end of that run, I'm sure. We got 10:35 left in the first half. Tigers up 14-0.
Pryor is going to accept the penalty, try to get a better punt.
And, folks, I understand why you're not here. Rainy, kind of cool, but I'll tell you what, man, I can't get over how nice this temperature is. This big old boy right here, I didn't sweat much the last couple days, and I have loved that.
Mark, I always say it's nice when I get to wear the same pair of pants at least 3 days a week. You know? And this weather allows me to do that. I'm guarantee you they are wishing right now that they would have declined that penalty because bad snap, and he puts his knee down, and they call it down. Tigers are going to take over at their own 32-yard line.
Oh, my God. You know, There's those things in coaching, Ashley, that you know. There's kind of those unwritten things. In this situation, this is what you do as a coach. But sometimes that can come back to bite you, because instead of us having the ball at our own 30, we now have the ball on their 32, just because they thought they could get a better punt off. Kind of reminds me of OU, right? Kick it again, Bob.
Oh, man.
You OSU fans like Charlie Holderby know what I'm talking about, which he may not even be home yet. Who knows?
Well, we need the Tigers to have a better weekend, because last weekend of football was absolutely horrible for us. And there's a gang tackling there and a little frustration, as you can see, on Pryor's side as he tries to slam him down but can't.
And Ashley, that guy, was that number 72 for Pryor? Because if it was, he's 6'5", 330, and he could not get Day all-day Leathers on the ground. We've been talking about those yak yards for Leathers all year. And I'm just going to tell you right now, Leathers is not 6'5", 330.
No.
And that lineman could not get him down. That just tells you the athlete you're dealing with in Leathers. Tate Christian back to pass, and it is picked off.
He's got room to run. Does a good job. See if he can get back outside. Trying to get to the edge. One man to beat. Oh, thank goodness he is brought down at the 40-yard line. Not sure who he was trying to hit there, because there were three of them. And none of them wore a black jersey.
Threw it in traffic. That's Justin Hitchcock on the tackle for the Tigers to save a touchdown. That was, Ashley, that was thrown right into, like you said, three different white jerseys. And easy pickings.
Mark, have now ended in turnovers, and the first two drives were perfect, scripted them perfect. Last two drives, not how we want to be playing this ball game. We don't want to let a team like Pryor stick around. That's a good little play right there. Roll everyone to the right, and then just a throwback to the tailback on the backside for a big gain there. It's going to be a gain of about 16 for the Pryor Tigers. Gets them down to about the 24-yard line.
Well, one thing you got to watch about Pryor is they are well coached. They are a disciplined team, and they're not. They're 2-4 on the season, but that does not mean that they're a walkover. And if Tahlequah, if we can't get some of those offensive mistakes under control. You hate to see a team hang around when you jump out ahead like we have.
Absolutely. If it's hard to win ball games when you lose the turnover battle.
Yes.
And we need to get that squared away real quick. So they try to throw a pass, is incomplete. It's going to bring up second long. Jet sweep across the forcing back inside. There is nothing happening there. It's going to be a loss of 1 for the Tigers. Good job by the Tahlequah Tigers. He's swarming that.
Isaac Strain on that tackle, Ashley.
Got a timeout Pryor. They're going to talk about it, what they have drawn up there for 3rd and 11, and they get close to the red zone.
It's our pink out game tonight. We had a whole bunch of kindergarten through 4th graders with the dance team cheering before the game, and we're selling. I heard they bought 300 pink tiger cookies, selling them downstairs, and sold T-shirts. So all tonight's proceeds from things pink go towards was it Susan G. Komen breast cancer out of Tulsa. Worthy cause. Our officials are using yellow flags. Last week they had pink flags, so.
Yeah, I appreciate them going back to the yellow flags, because those pink flags last week were very hard to see.
Very hard.
So man in motion, fakes the jet sweep. He's got a man down the middle, forced out of the pocket.
Strain almost had him, Ashley, and it wasn't a hold, but Strain almost had him, but it wasn't a hold. It was a good non-call by the official.
So it was a great job by the defense. He has the play design, as you can see there, it's a streak play by the tight end. He's just running a seam route, basically, straight down the middle. He runs the fake jet sweep, hoping to pull that safety off, but Tahlequah does a great job staying hooked up with it, and then they look to dump it off to the tailback. So they run bunch at the top side. wide open in the middle, and he falls down short. Thank the Lord for the sniper, because there wasn't a Tiger around him. Another great play design call by Pryor, running that bunch, and then he runs basically a post route there in the middle, and it doesn't get picked up because they're running 5 wide. It forces a man coverage by the Tiger secondary, and took advantage over the middle there.
And that was they were 4th and behind the chains. I mean, that was 4th and 11.
That was a big-time play for Pryor. Look at that penetration by the Tigers. Oh, my goodness.
And actually, that was the wishbone. I looked down and looked up, and I'm like, I think that's the wishbone.
The defensive tackle for Tahlequah, he shot the gap, and I don't believe was touched. Before the Pryor lineman ever got out of his stance, he's in the backfield, forcing him out of the A gap to the C gap, where some other Tigers were waiting. Good job there. Let's do it 3 more times, boys. Pryor looking to the sideline for the call. These are some of the tough play calls right here when you get inside the 5. It really kind of narrows down your playbook and what you're going to do.
Got another shout out, Ashley, to Aaron Duro. He's listening to us tonight, watching us. Spotter in the box saying false start.
Yeah, that was an interesting
delay of game.
Delay of game. They sent 3 men in motion, and then they were going to counter step and run back to the strong side. I'm telling you, Pryor right now is opening up their playbook. Again, it just shows you they're a well-coached team. Always tends to give Tahlequah a little bit of trouble. But that's good to back them up 5 right there. So it's going to be 2nd and about 7 for the Pryor Tigers.
Folks, I apologize for the cameras. I don't know what's going on.
Almost intercepted by none other than Cole Goodnight. So the Pryor rolls to their left on a play action, and he tries to hit it inside, and Cole Goodnight's there to break up the pass. So great defense in there. It's going to bring up 3rd and 7 for the Tigers. So Pryor now backed up, 3rd and long, 3rd and goal. I'll do my best to keep you informed till we can get our cameras up and going again. Looks like there was a penalty on the play. So that's going to back them up even more. So that play that we just had does not count. So it's going to bring up 2nd and 12. Apparently it was a pre-snap penalty that just didn't get called in time. Pryor checks the sidelines. They come out in a double formation. He's in shotgun. H-back to the top side of the field. Hands off inside, fakes, throws it again. Great coverage by the Tigers. It's going to be incomplete in the end zone. Fantastic coverage by the cornerback. I believe that was Trey Patrick being in the right position at the right time. Ball sails and goes into the back of the end zone. So that's going to bring up now 3rd and 12 for the Pryor Tigers. Trying to run a slant from the outside receiver, but Trey was having no part of that. Had great inside position and knocked that ball away. So shotgun, back to pass. He's looking again, going to challenge him again. Then that is going to be, oh my goodness, nearly intercepted. There is a flag on the play. I believe he may have got a head start on that play, but we'll see what they call. But nearly intercepted, hit him right in the hands. Hardest place to catch football, Mark. Right in the hands. Be interested to see what Coach Gilbert does here, as it was an incomplete pass. And they're going to decline that, and that's going to bring up 4th and long, a 4th and long goal from the 12 for Pryor. See if they're going to march out their field goal unit, or they're going to try to take another stab at the end zone. Looking to the sideline, I see no movement of a kicker. So it looks like they are going to go for it on a 4th and 12. Play clock is, well, it's not doing anything. So not real sure they're going to start the play clock. Now they decide they are going to. So here we go. Shotgun formation. Double tight. Doubles to the top, excuse me. He checks the sideline. And I believe Pryor is going to call a timeout, and they're going to talk about it. So 7:43 to go in the first half. Your Tahlequah Tigers 14, Pryor Tigers 0. However, the Pryor Tigers are threatening at 4th and 12. Tiger defense doing a good job here trying to make a goal line stance to keep them from getting in the end zone here. It'd be a good deal for their defense. As the Pryors struck deep there with the seam route across the middle, or that post route, excuse me, and then he tripped up by the man in the grass and was brought down. Then a tackle for a loss, followed by, I believe that was two consecutive penalties that brought it back to the 12-yard line, and then 2 incomplete passes has now brought you to the 4th and 12 that we face here with 7:43 to go. You know, Pryor, they are a very physical offense. They're very big up front. We talked about, you know, when they run their formations, they try to get balanced numbers on each side. You know, you'll see they spread them out with the doubles and trips. But most of the time, they're going to run 65%. So here we go with the trips down to the west side of the field. Low snap, back to pass, looks to his left. He throws across the middle. He's got it. Incomplete. He put it right between the defenders. And that's going to be incomplete. And Tigers, they dodge a bullet there, Mark, because he was open. And Tigers are going to take over on their own 12. So 88 yards to go to pay dirt. Let's see what the Tigers have up their sleeves. Still trying to get our cameras back up and running.
All right, I'm back.
All right.
Folks, I don't know what happened. You had Charlotte working on that camera, Edwin working on that camera, I was working on that camera. It went haywire. Yeah, I'm telling you. I turned, folks, not that you care, but I turned the camera off, and it would not turn off. So I don't know if we have a case of that Stephen King movie and book Maximum Overdrive where machines are starting to take over or what, but I had to disconnect power completely. And then we lost signal to our computer, but we are back. And so we have the game clock ticking down around 7:09, 7:08. Tigers with the ball. And I, hate to admit it, but just spent the last minute or two trying to fix that camera. But so I have no clue how we got the ball back, and they didn't score because they about did. But it's a pleasant surprise.
Should know because I was going play-by-play there, Mark.
Well, I guess I was not paying attention because I was about to throw a camera out of the press box.
All right, so we're not doing much in offense right now. It's going to be 3rd and 12 for the Tigers. Not really how we want to look. Day started that drive off and got hit in the backfield, couldn't get away, and then a tackle for loss there. So now we're at 3rd and long for our Tigers. We would really like to get something going here and get out of the shadow of our own end zone.
There's a pass.
He's
big
got
pass.
Him. Now no flag there. I will refrain from discussing that one, but it's going to bring up 4th and long for the Tigers as the punt team's going to come on. That is not the drive that we were looking for.
So we've had the last 3 possessions of the Tigers. You've had turnover, and now punt. So, I don't know who flipped the switch. I don't know if the same bad juju that hit our camera hit the offense, but something is going on, and Tate Christian, our punter, is standing just inside the A on Northeastern in the end zone.
End over end punt, taken at the 45, wrapped up, brought down on the sideline there at about the 42-yard line. They may give him the 41 because they're feeling nice for him. Offensively, just haven't done much in the last 3 drives, Mark. Not like we want to see. Not like we started off like our hair was on fire. And apparently our hair has been put out. And 2 turnovers and 3 and out is, again, not how we want to be offensively. So the Pryor Tigers are going to take over in their own territory at the 41-yard line. Defense doing a good job. Held them that last play, last series. So let's see if we can do it again, get the ball back, and let our offense get rolling again. 6:06 to go in the first half. Tigers up 14-0.
Ashley, I got to give a couple shout outs here. I keep getting text messages. So the first one is to the legend of the science department at Tahlequah, the one, the only, Vicki Elliott, who is in big stop right there. Ashley, let it go, man. he fist pumped right there, folks. But Vicki Elliott watching from Manhattan, Kansas tonight. She's up there for K-State's homecoming with her daughter. And then also Sabrina Garner is watching, another Tahlequah Public Schools employee, works downtown at the Water Street office.
Now that was Dylan Parrish on a big-time tackle the previous play. And a host of whole Tigers there on that tackle as well. Interesting play design for Pryor.
I don't know if you saw that, but it almost looked like one of the Pryor linemen pushed our guy he was blocking into the runner and tackled him. That was an interesting little tackle right there. Another shout-out, we already mentioned Alicia Hola, but she's watching in Connecticut tonight. Connecticut is a tiny state, people.
States. Little screen play, wide receiver screen. He breaks one tackle, breaks two tackles, breaks three tackles, but he can't break the fourth, fifth, or sixth. Thank goodness. So nice little wide receiver screen is going to be enough. That's about a 17-yard pickup for the Pryor Tigers, and that's going to move the chains, bring up 1st and 10 for Pryor from about the 23-yard line. Again, that's those open field tackles, Mark. They are tough to make.
They are. That play looked kind of odd right there, to be honest with you. Another shout-out, we've got Mike and Becky Bingham watching from home tonight. They're in where it's nice and warm and dry, listening to you and I talk a little bit, Ashley. Probably we shouldn't be allowed to have microphones, but yet here we are.
You know, it's one of the things I look forward to now, Mark. I know it's
also
fun.
Aaron Duro, he's watching from the big town of Gideon. There goes the shutout.
That's a play they ran earlier, just on that seam route. Pryor does a great job. They're playing tendencies. They run that play action. It freezes the linebacker, freezes the safety, and then they run it right down the seam. It was wide open a while ago. They come right back to the well. This time our sniper wasn't paying attention, or the man in the grass just missed him. He ran it all the way into the end zone for a 23-yard touchdown pass, but it appears that there could be a flag on the play.
There is on that far side, Ashley, over there by the 20, and they are talking with the Pryor coach. So it's coming back. An eligible receiver downfield
eligible receiver. Oh, that's a big-time break for the Tigers. Tahlequah safety, he got sucked in that time. He got his eyes in the backfield, and he was flat-footed and just really didn't do a good job making an adjustment, nor did the linebackers because they're playing run. Again, Pryor runs the ball 65% of the time, so you start playing tendencies, but that's where that play-action pass, when they do throw it, they gobble you up on it and hit it over the top.
You want to talk about calls you don't see all the time in high school football? It's ineligible receiver, and we've had two tonight. Pryor has had two ineligible receiver downfield calls against him, and I'm sure that's why the official was explaining it to their coach, because I bet he has not had that call on him much. Now, I can't vouch for where those linemen are.
So number 7 fakes the jet sweep, and then he's going to keep it, and Tahlequah is having none of it. They stop him probably about the line of scrimmage there. You're giving shout-outs, holler out to Dusty 4 at the Skate House. He works over there on Friday, Saturday nights, does a great job to provide a safe place for the youth of Tahlequah to go to. So he can't come to the Tahlequah games, but he's a big-time supporter of Tahlequah football. Thanks for listening, Dusty. Appreciate all you do for our community.
Actually, we're going to have to start charging for these shout-outs, right? Like $1 a text. What kind
Great
of shout-out
job right
do you
there
want?
oh, my goodness sakes. He's still able to get it off there, Mark.
Wow.
I thought for sure they had him down, and as he's going down, he flips it out to that wide receiver, and he makes a nice grab for a decent pickup, but still going to bring up 4th and short for the Pryor Tigers. Fourth and 2. Play action, little out route, simply all it is. Good open field tackle there at the 7, about the 8 of the Tigers.
Unfortunately, that's enough for a first down, so now you got 1st and goal.
1st and goal for Pryor Tigers. A good play call there. a really good. He planted that inside foot and drives that out route. That ball had left his hand before he ever broke on that out. You can see that they run that in practice quite a bit. Give the inside, tries to catch the edge, breaks the tackle. Ooh, he's hit hard.
Very hard.
He's hit hard at the 4, and he goes sideways.
Yeah, and he slowly rolled over and got up. I didn't catch who that hit was, but that was a big-time hit by the Tigers.
I believe that was number 5, Dylan Parrish again. Who's not afraid to hit you? He'll hit you in the mouth. Shotgun formation, doubles to the west side of the field. Man in motion. And he rolls to his left. He's looking. Throws, and broken up by the Tigers. Great job by the defense. They're really starting to clamp down inside the red zone, and especially inside the 10. That's Kobe Baker who breaks up that pass. 3rd and goal, backs against the wall again. Pryor looks to the sideline for the call. 2:43 to go in the first half. Overload to the left. He keeps it, runs around the corner. Good tackle right there. Who is that, Mark? I can't see his number.
Looks like Kobe Baker again.
Big time. He was able to split 3 blockers to shoot in there and make a tackle. That's going to bring up 4th and 2 for Pryor. Big time tackle, because if he doesn't make that tackle, he scores.
You know, I'm watching this, and as a coach, I know how frustrating it is to have what you do second guessed. But here in the first half, Pryor has not ran the ball too well, but they have thrown the ball well. But here they get inside and they don't throw the ball. They start trying to run it, which I understand. You're on the 2, you want to try and force it in, but the pass play is what's been working for them, and they're going to talk about it, it looks like.
Yeah, so timeout Pryor. I do believe that's their 3rd and final with 1:57 to go in the first half. You know, the thing about throwing the ball, especially when you get inside the 10 or inside the 5, your field really it narrows down. You have 15 yards total to plant that ball in there, and so it helps you to go into a zone offense or zone defense. It's really hard to find those open lanes. And like they did, he rolls around, give him that RPO, that run pass option. So if the lane's there, he could tuck it and go, or if he's open, he hits him on the little dinker pass. But it's just really tough when you get down low right here to throw the ball. Unless you have a Cole Goodnight and you can just back up and hit that fade, that corner fade. But I like the play call where they overload the side there and just go at you with numbers. Tell you what, we're just going to send more guys than you can block, or send more guys that try to punch our way in there. That's why it's such a good job for Kobe Baker to attack that, get through there, and make a tackle for loss. So here we go. Timeout's over. All or nothing here for the Pryor Tigers at 4th and 2.
There's a snap, quarterback over the right side.
Oh, my goodness, and he flips over the line. I'm not sure if he is a track star or not, but if not, put that guy on the pole vault.
Well, you know what's interesting about that, and like I said, we're watching from kind of far away, but it looked like he jumped over his line to get there. And if you think back to that Skytook game, Skytook had a run called back because their running back jumped over one of our defenders, and you can't do that in high school ball.
So I guess the clarification would be he hurdled the defender, and hurdling is a personal foul. However, I believe diving is acceptable.
Okay.
So I guess you can go head first, but you can't hurdle.
So lead with the one part of the body we're trying to protect the most nowadays in football.
Absolutely.
And you're okay.
Correct.
But hurdle it, and you're not. All right, makes sense.
So Pryor Tigers strike back and cut the lead to 7 as it's now 14-7 here with only 1:54 to go in the second quarter. Excuse me.
Now, actually,
needs to get something going here.
They do. I was about to say I'm a school teacher a week away from fall break, so my brain is a little 3 days. Thank you, Eric Jones. But my brain's a little scrambled. But if my memory serves correct, we had the opening offensive possession, which means
correct.
Pryor's going to get the ball back. And so if we could score in these next minute 54 seconds, which we can do, I would feel a whole lot better going into the locker room.
Absolutely. Even
and we
if
could do it with the run.
Just exchange the field position just to go into the locker room with a better momentum. So once again, here's the gimmick kickoff stuff that Pryor does, and again, I just do not care for that. I think it criminalizes football. They're going to let us run it. Taking it at the 20 to the 25. He's to the 30. Makes his way up to about the 34-yard line before he runs into a whole host of Pryor Tigers. Well, that's a generous spot there by the refs, and we will take that because that's going to put us to the 35.
Yeah, we'll take that.
Minute 46. See what the Tigers can do here. Do believe they have all 3 timeouts. So 2-minute offense. See if we can get something going here. Again, 2 turnovers. We had the fumble inside the 10 there. Then we had an interception, and then the 3 and out. Tigers need to do something here. Number 44, it's Johnny Football running late on the field here. Little play action pass. Kobe Baker's got the catch. He's got one trying to hit the seam. Oh, my goodness, but that's going to get us up to about the 49-yard line. That's a nice 14-yard reception by Kobe. Looked like he was going to be able to hit that seam. If he would have, with Kobe's speed, he would have been gone.
Yes, he would have. And that's a good first down for the Tigers. So you see they can move that ball quick. And there they're doing it with the pass game. And
once again, that play action to Day freezes the linebackers, freezes the safeties, and is a great backside screen there. Here you go, inside handoff. Makes one man miss, but, Pryor's done a good job to settle their defensive line down because they're no longer getting pushed back 3-4 yards anymore. They're reestablishing that line of scrimmage.
That's right.
So Tahlequah is going to burn a timeout here as it's going to bring up about 2nd and 8.
We've got 1:20 to go in the first half. Looking out across the crowd, like I mentioned at the beginning of our broadcast, it is not anywhere near the size of last week. Last week was probably the biggest crowd I've ever seen here at Doc Wadley, and for a football game now, graduation's packed, but it was loud in this place last week.
It was very loud. I mean, it was the point we were closing windows and everything, just trying to hear each other. And then just have the performance that we did was very disappointing. The whole staff was disappointed. The whole players were disappointed. But like you said, you got to have a short memory. You got to forget from that. You got to learn from your mistakes and move on and focus on this week. Let's get ready for Pryor. Rolls to his right. Good pass. That's number 13. That's at Jackson Jones. He's to the 25 and down to the 24. Jackson Jones, that means his 11th. Wow, that was some really good English. That is his 11th reception on the season. He leads the team in receptions. I believe he had 10 prior to that one, and Cole Goodnight had 9. So that's going to put him up at 11. Nice grab by Jackson Jones.
Tigers going quick here, Ashley.
Option to Day. Pitch, makes one man miss. About the 2nd or 3rd guy brings him down at the 20. Clock is running. Tigers are hustling back with 55 seconds to go in the half. They're on the move. I like what I'm seeing.
We still have 2 timeouts, Ashley.
We're going to spike the ball. Going to bring up 3rd and 5.
Gilbert must be thinking he wants to save those for maybe.
Maybe. Am I mistaken? Do we not have 2 timeouts left? So brings up 3rd and 5 after Tate spikes the ball. Man in motion. We got false start Tigers. That was Blake Korn. Just came out of a stance, started rocking back, and then, get that weight going. It's kind of hard to stop. It's kind of how I get out of bed. I get it all going one way, and then I'm getting out of bed.
That's
There's
right.
no stopping it. I'm either falling on the floor or I'm landing on my feet, but either way, I'm getting out of bed.
That's how I am. I was helping one of our crew members tonight, Evan Palomares, carry up this big heavy box tonight. He stopped a couple times, and I about tumbled down the stands here at Doc Wadley, and I would not have stopped until I hit the turf.
Tate rolls to his right. Pass sells on him. So that's going to bring up now 4th and 10.
And after moving the ball so well, you know, the spike, when we spiked the ball, it seemed to mess up our mojo.
Momentum there, yeah. And then the penalty, and then, you know, so much it's not always the penalties that kill you. It could be the timing of the penalties, you know, and just really kills that momentum. So now brings up 4th and long from the 25. Tigers elect to go for it rather than sending Trey Patrick out for a very long field goal attempt. Looks to the sideline. Gilbert is going to take a timeout.
Tried the hard count, and Pryor didn't bite, so we will burn our second timeout. It is amazing watching a game how little things can impact the momentum and how you move things. You know, like that false start on Corn. I don't know if you noticed, but I can't remember what receiver came in motion from the far side. But when he came in motion, sorry folks, I have a 10-year-old girl coming up here waving at me, but it's my daughter. But when now everybody's laughing at me, and she gave me a Snickers, so it's amazing. But anyway, when Corn jumped off right after the spike of the ball to bring up 3rd and 5, Christian called, you know, he does the count, and we're supposed to have a receiver come in motion, and that receiver did not go in motion. And Christian had to look at him and motion for him to go in motion. And that's when kind of you can see the linemen were kind of wondering, why have we been in this position for so long? And then he just moved.
So back to pass. He's forced out of the back, and he is going to be brought down for a sack on a play. Not how we wanted to end that series. So 37 seconds to go. Tahlequah turns it over on downs. You know, had something going there, and again, momentum killer with the spike and a penalty. And so Pryor is going to take over at the 29-yard line, 1st and 10. If I'm Pryor, I'm going to take a shot. So doubles to the west side, hands off inside, still on his feet, breaking one tackle, still driving. About 4 Tigers finally bring him down, but not until after a gain of about 7 on the play. I'd like to thank Johnny Dyson for listening to us today. Johnny coaching out at Briggs, longtime Tiger. Son Knox is in the 7th grade program, 7th, 8th grade program. Bright future for that young man. Again, it's just exciting. These young athletes that are coming up for the Tigers, and just really excited to see what they're going to do for the future of this Tiger program. And that's halftime, Mark.
Yeah, and you know, the first 6 minutes of the first quarter compared to the other 18 minutes of the half is a stark contrast. You know, Tigers come out, score 2 times early, move the ball with ease, and then it just seems to the wheels get shaky, and we got to have someone tighten those lug nuts up. You know, you have 2 turnovers, a 3 and out, and then just penalties and things like that. So the Tigers got some adjustments to make at halftime. They are up 14-7. I don't want to make it sound like their best coon dog just died.
No, it's just a matter of putting it all together. You know, I think they come out, they jumped on them real hard and heavy for first 2 drives. Day just running wild and rampant. But then they, a tendency to hey, let's we've got this, let's relax. And then Pryor says, hey, wait a minute, you're not gonna run away from us here. But the last thing Tahlequah wants to do is to let Pryor hang around. And so they need to come out and really establish defensive dominance. Get that ball back and just put the pedal to the metal. And really hammer down in the second half.
All right, well, folks, Ashley and I are going to take a little break here. We will set the cameras up on the field so you can enjoy the Orange Express. We'll turn up that camera mic, and we'll be back in about 20 minutes. We'll see you later.
Courtney Clear and Aaron Epperly. Additional staff include Jasmine Rodriguez, Lily Lewis, and Savannah Cox. Drum majors are Ethan Knight, Haley Barnarski, and Meg Thompson. Last weekend, the Orange Express competed against 5A and 6 have advanced from Oklahoma, Arkansas, and Missouri, and were named the finalists at the Bentonville Invitational Contest. Tomorrow, they travel to Tulsa Union and compete in the Renegade Review Marching Championship. Drum majors, is your band ready?
Well, you can go walk around at this time and like get people.
Orange Express, the field is yours for performance.
I never actually like sat and watched them. Like be like not something like here. Over here. Wait, she told me to look somewhere. Where did she tell me to look? Oh my god. She doesn't have a picture.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Orange Express under the direction of Mr. Russ Allen. We have the following winners of silent basket auction baskets tonight. If you won one of these baskets, please go underneath the bleachers on the home side and pick up your basket and pay for those at this time. Larry Dotson. Tara Ingram, Kim Thompson, Linda Dotson, Chrissy Waldauer, Kathy Eskridge, Kelly Renfro, and Lauren Smith. You have all won silent basket auction baskets tonight. Please go pick up that basket at this time. Thank you. Thank you for participating in tonight's Speak Out Night at Tahlequah High School. Press Box also would like to thank Buffalo Wild Wings for providing refreshments for the Press Box tonight. Appreciate them. As well as Subway of Tahlequah for also providing refreshments for the Press Box. Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time of year again for Toys for Tots. Chris Britt Auto Sales is the Cherokee County headquarters for this year's donations. This year, Toys for Tots is in need of new, unwrapped toys for all ages. All donations can be taken to Chris Britt Auto Sales. Go Tigers! If your business would like to be at Toys for Tots drop-off location, give Chris Britt Auto Sales a call and they can get you the supplies that you need. Go Tigers! Chris Britt Auto Sales, tonight's game ball sponsor. Unofficially at the halftime, Tahlequah's Day Leathers on 14 carries tonight, 151 yards rushing. Larry and Linda Dotson, they're waiting for you to pick up your silent baskets downstairs tonight. You're two of the winners. They need to get that taken care of. Thank you. Like my Tiger fans, the Tigers will be playing next Thursday night, not on Friday, but Thursday night as they travel to East Central for District 5A4 game. That game to be held on the campus of the Cardinals, East Central Cardinals. Thursday night, not Friday night. Game time, 7 o'clock. Have a District 5A scorer to report for you. The Collinsville Cardinals at halftime leading East Central tonight 28-6.
All right, welcome back from halftime, Tigers fans. We've got a full house in here right now in the box. I don't really know where to stand or why Edwin Palomares is thanking the deity in the sky for something. We're not going to get into that, but the halftime clock is going to tick down. It's down around 20 seconds. They've already reset the 3 minutes, which why not just make halftime 23 minutes? These are things I don't understand. We set a 20-minute halftime clock. When it runs out, then they put another 3 on. That is an OSSAA rule. And so the Tigers are ready. Now, Tigers will kick. And actually, we talked about the fact that we had kind of lost momentum.
Lost momentum there at the end of the first half there with that timeout, and kind of cost us there. Had a chance to put some points on the board. Mark just going to give you some scores from around the area there. Collinsville is up on East Central 28-6, and Coweta is losing to McAllister at 13-21. So that's a big time game to keep an eye on. Skytook is all over Will Rogers at 35-0. So Tahlequah is out to kick, and again now Tahlequah will be kicking from north to south. And back deep receiver Pryor Tigers is a straight line drive kick. And it is going to go out of bounds, and that's a penalty. So they're going to be able to take the ball there at the 35-yard line. Pretty decent field position for Pryor to start the second half.
Folks, we have got – it's like a circus in this box. I'm just going to tell you. And for those of you that know Edwin, his laugh, I really can't describe it. But it is a loud it's loud. Well, anyway, tonight's, speaking of people broadcasting, we have Edwin Palomares and Maria Diaz-Mojica running the computer. We have Alicia Kuntihi here on camera 1, Charlotte Knott and Amelia Garcia down on camera 2.
Play action, good break up by the Tiger cornerback. Again, they come out with that double tight shotgun look, play action. Fake the handoff to the tailback and hit that outside receiver on an inside slant. A great job there by the Tiger cornerback to be on the receiver right as the ball comes in, knocks the ball out. So it's going to bring up 2nd and 10. And then they run a little counter play, and the Tigers are having none of it, and they are swarming and attacking defense. That's what we want to see right there by the Tiger defensive line.
So that defense looks like Tiger defense early. Coming out with some
that's Isaac String
pressure
again there on the tackle for loss, leading the Tigers. So that's going to bring up 3rd and long for Pryor, and they come out and trips to the top side, and then this doubles stack down here. And this is where that they like to run that inside post route, and there he goes. There it is. But they got good pressure. His eyes are not looking downfield. Tries to reschedule. Good pressure. He's going to tuck it, run, and then good job to be forced out at the 40-yard line. Great job by the Tiger defense. You know, he anytime he can't look downfield, because he had some receivers open, he had to look at the pressure. So that's going to bring up 4th and about 5 for Pryor. It looks like they are going to punt the ball. Great job by the Tiger defense. Exactly how you want to come out and start the second half, Mark. Get a 3 and out and get that offense back on the field.
Exactly. And I kept having to catch my breath on that QB scramble right there because he kept making moves and we weren't getting to him. That's a good punt,
Good
Ashley.
high punt. He fair catch, and he's taken there at the 19-yard lines. So
that's Baker on the fair catch, Kobe.
So Tigers going to start 1st and 10 from their own 19-yard line. So 81 yards to go to pay dirt. Let's hopefully we can get something going here, Mark.
Well, I'm telling you what, those offensive possessions, every offensive possession for us in the first half, except for the first 2, they were a struggle. So hopefully we find that rhythm back right here. It looks like Tate Christian is QB.
Nice play. Get up around the corner. Get up. Man beat. He's got one man beat. He's to the 40, to the 45, to the 50, down to the 48-yard line. Great play on the jet sweep for the Tigers. Nice scamper right there. Trying to see who that is. Jackson Jones, wide receiver there, running on the jet sweep. Good job. 1st and 10 for the Tigers. That's a good play. Day cuts back inside, breaks one tackle, can't break the second tackle, got him by the shoelaces. Going to be brought down at the 36-yard line, but that's going to be good enough for a Tahlequah Tiger, 1st and 10. Tigers, I mean, they come out swinging.
They did,
and
on both sides of the ball.
I think that's exactly what we need. Now let's go punch it into the end zone right here. So trips to the west side of the field. Hard count, no play, looks to the sideline. Gilbert to call the play in, or I guess maybe not Gilbert, probably Coach McClure, who does a great job as assistant head and really get those linemen coached up there.
Yep.
Hand off inside, but puts a nice move and cuts back to the inside. And again, big gain down to about the 33-yard line. That's going to bring up about second and 6, Mark. Good 4-yard gain at least.
I'll take it. 3 4-yard plays and you've got a first down. If my Adair County Tudums and Gazintas are right.
So same formation, handoff inside. Oh, he swarmed up, trying to make a man miss, but tries to cut back inside. He's forced out of bounds. That's going to be a loss of about 3 on the play. Really nothing there. Defensive end does a good job stretching it out, backside running him down. Just kind of, really all you can do is corral Day. So I say loss of 3. They say loss of 5. Tomato, Mark.
I like tomatoes, so I'll take it.
All right, doubles to the top side of the field, back in gun formation. Day's to the side. Tate, hard count. Thought he had someone jump off, but no, he's able to get back. Looks to the sideline for now, the actual play call. 7 on the play clock. Got to get the play off. There's a snap. Run the option. Going to keep it. He wanted to pitch it, but Pryor did a good job of playing the quarterback, tailback relationship. That defensive end, outside linebacker did a great job of assignment football right there. You can see Tate wanted to pitch it, but he's covered up, so he has to tuck it and get inside, and of course he's gobbled up.
And credit Pryor players and coaches. You have Tahlequah move the ball well from the 19 down to where they're at right now, from their own 19, and then all of a sudden we find ourselves in 4th and 10.
4th and 10, play clock clicking down. It looks like we got a timeout, Tahlequah. See what Gilbert's got up his sleeve. No, they're going to take a delay of game penalty, so I think they're going to punt the ball here, back him up a little bit, stretch his legs, get a better shot into the pin him deep here.
So it's kind of, for Tahlequah, it's kind of Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde.
It is.
You don't. I really can't put my finger on it.
Yeah, they come out swinging two big hits right there right away, and then nothing, just kind of fizzles out. A lob snap, and then an even worse kick, and that's going to be. It would have been 2 yards shy of the first down, Mark.
Yes. That about a net 7-yard punt-ish?
Wow.
Yeah, after the penalty. Yeah, it's less than that.
We got a penalty on the play, and it's going to be running into the kicker, not the ticker, the kicker. So we're going to move up 5 yards, and I'm assuming that we're either going to repunt it or Gilbert just say, hey, if we're only going to kick it 7 yards, let's just go for it. You know me, I like to go for it, though, Mark. On Madden, it could be 4th and 37 on my own 7, and I'm probably going to go for it.
That's right. You might not make it 60% of the time, but the 40% of the time you do, it's like I'm the smartest guy around.
That's right. So here we go, back in punt formation again. So does Gilbert take a delay of game and do that again? I think we're just going to punt it here. So there's a snap, better snap, much better kick, high, fair catch call for, and he's taking it much better job there right at the 6-yard line. So that penalty worked out in our favor. Going to switch the field around, and Pryor's going to take over at their own 6. And the way our defense is going, hey, Keith Wilson, don't pull a Mike Stoops here and go into prevent. Let's attack. So So let's see what the Tigers choose to do here on defense, see if they're going to get after them here. 94 yards to go for Pryor for they to hit pay dirt. So Tiger defense takes the field. Shotgun formation, 2 tights. Handoff inside. Good push by that big offensive line by Pryor. It's got to be a gain of about 3, maybe 4 yards. Pushing it out to the 10-yard line, so 4-yard pickup. Just more of a double tight out of a shotgun with a single back and 2 wide receivers, 1 to top, 1 to bottom. So hard count, checks to the sideline.
Well, you remember at the beginning of the game, actually, they were running just a 5-down lineman. That was majority of their offense. Now, like you said, double tight with the back.
Play action, and there's that out route. That time the ball just sails on him. Goes out of bounds, so that's going to bring up 3rd down and 6. Pretty good coverage there. I believe that's Colton Booth, or is it Cole Goodnight? I'm sorry, number 11, Cole Goodnight on the coverage. Those out routes are very tough to defend because you're backing up and they plant that inside foot, and there you go, create separation. So man in motion. They're going to roll to his left. Cuts up the middle. Tigers are having none of it. Look at that swarming defense. He's going to lose yards on the play.
That's good read right there by the Tiger defense.
That's 9-5-9, but I do believe there was only 7, not 9 that time, guys on the tackle. Maybe we can up our numbers a little bit. Wilson should be happy with that stance. That's 3 and out. Great job by the Tiger defense. So back to punt. This is not, if you're Pryor, it's not a position you want to be in because they have not had good luck punting. But good snap, good kick off the side of his foot. And it's going to go out of bounds. See where they spot it. They're going to spot it at the 30.
Nope. He's going to mark it back down.
Not real sure where he's going. They're going to spot it all the way at the 27-yard line. Now, Mark, I did notice something, and I'm surprised that they're not giving him a sideline warning because as the referee was running up the sideline, he ran into one of the Pryor coaches. And usually that's an automatic penalty, or at least at bare minimum a sideline warning.
A warning.
But no call there. Tigers take over 1st and 10 from the 26-yard line. Great field position. Mark, we've got to push it into the end zone here. I feel like it's imperative that we do it on this drive.
Yeah, we've got to get points here.
Oh, and there's a horrible snap. Picks it up. Trying to make a man move. Trying to get to the edge. Goodness sakes, Day-Day is an athlete.
You know, Ashley, it's funny. You were just saying, I was about to agree with you. Got to get, in my opinion, 6 here. And we have a terrible snap. And once again, it's hard to go places. If you take 2 steps forward and 3 steps back, or you shoot yourself in the big toe, the El Capitan, you can't do that. Seinfeld reference, but
Pryor almost jumps off sides. They do a good job of getting back across the way there.
That's 2nd and 20. That's a big loss.
He does a good job because it could have been 2nd and 35. Good pass cross. That's a great job right there. Just sitting down in the zone. Finds that soft spot in the zone. Jackson Jones makes a great catch. He just finds that hole in the zone, and Tate does a good job putting it on him.
That brings it back to the original
All
line
right,
of
so
scrimmage.
here we go. It's third and long for the Tigers, about 3rd and 10.
And this is 4-down territory.
Oh, absolutely.
I think.
Absolutely. So we're back to where we started from, just 2 downs ahead. So trips to the west. Handoff inside. Day-Day gobbled up.
We do have a flag on that far side.
There's a flag on the top side of the field. See what they're looking over the Pryor side, see if they're going to take it or not. So it's probably going to be against us.
Those holes that were there earlier in the game are not.
They are definitely not there. Referees. Oh, they're waving it off, so no penalty on the play. That's going to bring up 4th and long for the Tigers. So Simeon Armstrong is checking in at quarterback. Oh, I'm sorry, he's checking in at wide receiver. You put Simeon Armstrong in, generally, I like this formation. It may be a shot in the end zone with Simeon. He can take him. He's got the speed to do it. He's got single coverage on the top side. So I'll be curious to see what they want to do here. Are you going to try to take a shot in the end zone here, or are we going to try to pick up the first down? They look over at Gilbert. We're going to get timeout here as play clock was winding down. They're going to talk about it.
You can see the frustration in Gilbert's body language right now, Ashley. Which Gilbert is not he's not an animated guy, but you could see the way he crossed his arms after he called timeout and walked out to meet the offense.
Yeah, that is definitely not a timeout that he wanted to take, in the third quarter with 5:42 to go. You kind of want to keep those in your back pocket in the fourth quarter, especially in a close game like this. Just frustration, either the play call not getting called in or just they're not understanding or what. But, it could be frustrating. Similar to herding cats at times, Mark.
Yes. Like playing cards with my brother's kids.
That's right. Now, if you notice something here, Mark, Tahlequah has flipped the formation. We had trips on the west side of the field, and now we've moved it to the top side of the field and moved Simeon down here. Simeon, again, that speedy receiver, and here he goes. He rolls to his right. He had Simeon. He's going to tuck it and go. He's got room.
He's got room,
to
Ashley.
the 20. He's to the 15. Cuts inside to 10, 5. He's going to score. Touchdown, Tigers. How about that? Tate Christian on a 27-yard quarterback keep. Scrambles and scampers his way all the way to the end zone. You can see, Mark, they ran that trip left side. The idea was to hit Simeon on that post. He had him. The pocket collapse, creates a lane, and Tate takes it 27 yards for the score.
Just the way Gilbert drew that play up, too.
That's exactly what, he had his whiteboard over here and said, Tate, this is what you're going to do.
Right.
Roll left, roll right, cut up the middle, make a man miss, and go score. You got it. On 2, ready, break.
Exactly. Now, that's a big touchdown, Ashley, because that takes a two-possession game. The way that our defense has been able to hold the Pryor Tiger defense, you start to like to see, that frustration can build offensively for them, and hopefully our defense can capitalize on that.
That's right. And, if Pryor as a defense now has to spy Tate, that he is a legitimate running threat. If Simeon goes back at quarterback, they're going to spy Simeon.
Yes.
It's going to happen. But when Tate gets back there, they're more apt to stay in coverage with the linebacker. But when they allow a 27-yard scamper by Tate, now they're going to have to spy him. That's going to open up things in the secondary for Tahlequah, and he's going to have a good shot of dissecting that or handing the ball off to Day and letting him pick up some big yards. So big time series for the Tigers. Something
like that gets the monkey off your back offensively. So, the hope is now offensively things start clicking. And it's amazing how something like that, where the play doesn't work out like you draw it up, but you score anyway, how just something like that can change that mental standing.
Sure. That's a good tackle there. Can't see his number, who it is that made that tackle, but a good open field tackle because they had a lane there.
I believe that's Quayshawn Leathers, number 23.
Again, Day-Day's brother making a good tackle because he could have gone. He had a nice lane, good open field tackle. So Tigers take over on defense once again. Inside handoff. Makes his way through the line. Gets second level. Ball's on the ground.
They're going to say he's down, I think,
Ashley.
Ashley.
He's down, but I believe he's got enough for the first and 10. 10-yard pickup. Good little run there by Pryor.
Ashley, a little trivia for you. You can't Google cheat it. Where does Pryor get their name, the town name?
I believe, Mark, that is from the creek, the Pryor Creek. And if you look at it now, they've actually renamed a lot of their stuff to the Pryor Creek.
But where does the name Pryor, how did that come about? I'm throwing some Oklahoma history at you right here.
I'm out. I was only born there.
I've got the trivia king of Tahlequah High School in here, Eric Jones. Eric Jones, do you know, without Googling it, where Pryor Creek or Pryor gets the name of their town and the creek?
False start or offsides Tigers, so it's going to move Pryor ahead 5 yards.
I'm waiting now on Mr. Chuck Pack. He usually will Snapchat me the answers But Mr. Pack, if you are listening, don't you Google cheat it.
So 1st and 5 for Pryor Tigers. Play action, rolls out. Got a man down the seam, and it's picked up by Trey Patrick at the 25. He's to the 30, to the 35, to the 40, to the 45, to the 50,
He's got room.
to the 40, to the 35. And he's drug out at the 34-yard line. Big-time interception by Trey Patrick.
You know, actually, that quarterback for Pryor, and we got a flag on the play over here at the 45 on the Tahlequah side, but he did not see Trey, and Trey was spying that.
The whole way.
The whole way. Another funny thing there, as Trey was about to get tackled out of bounds, he was still on his feet fighting, and big number 72 for Pryor, 6'5", 330, was running at him like a freight train, and Patrick went down before he got there. Smart move.
Sometimes, you know, there's brains versus valor, you know.
Yes.
And let's keep your brains inside the helmet.
Yes.
I believe that's a block in the back against the Tigers, so they're going to have the ball at their own 35-yard line. It was almost as if Trey Patrick baited him into that throw. But the way he watched him, the way he was backpedaling, he was baiting him into that throw. Did a good job then breaking on the ball and then taking it. So great job of Trey Patrick. He's had a really good game today. Handoff inside to Day-Day. Day-Day is number 77 is just having all he can take of Day-Day. They stripped the ball out, but they're going to say he's down.
Well, and he's wrapping him up high. You know, I mean, hitting him high, and Leathers is a strong kid.
Yeah, you're not going to take him down by tackling him high. You're going to have to hit that inside hip and wrap up and explode with your arms and have violent hips and everything they teach. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we can make up all sorts of stuff, Mark. Here we go. Loss of 3 for Day-Day. Day-Day just not really needs to get back in track here. So trips to the west side of the field. Checks the sideline for the play call. Cole saying he doesn't have the call. Now he's got it. Back to pass. Rolls to his right. He's got Cole wide open in the middle, but he doesn't see him. So he's just going to have to get rid of it. Throw it away. Good job there just getting rid of the ball, but again, that pressure forces him to take his eyes off the field, but he had Cole Goodnight wide open at the 45 in the middle of the field. We'll say it's usually not hard to see him because as tall as he is, but, you know, when the other guys are 6'5" and 6'6",
exactly,
it makes our tall guy look short.
Christian's having to look over some giants on that defensive line for the Tigers, for Pryor Tigers, excuse me. And like Eric Jones up here pointed out earlier, the Tigers will win tonight since both teams are the Tigers. But we're hoping it's the black and orange Tigers. But who's ever seen a blue Tiger? Come on.
All right, it's going to bring up 3rd and long for the Tigers. And you know what? That was an interesting situation right there. Another timeout called by the Tahlequah Tigers. That's their second one. That leaves them with 1 timeout to go in the game. And again, it looked like a lot of confusion there by the wide receivers not getting the play call.
So, Ashley, I'll answer that question where Pryor gets its name. You got a guess? It has nothing to do with Tulsa.
Coach Jones is way off.
I believe it was 1801. I have my dates off here, but in 1801, the United States bought the Louisiana Purchase off of France. And they sent 2 guys named Lewis and Clark on an expedition up the Missouri River. And one of the men, as Edwin Palomera snores up here because I'm boring him, one of the men on the expedition was a guy named Nathaniel Pryor. And as payment, basically reward for being a good soldier on that 2.5, 3-year trip of Lewis and Clark, he was granted land. And he chose land in what is now the town of Pryor. So it's named for Nathaniel Pryor, a member of the Lewis and Clark expedition that put a trading post up there in Pryor. So just,
well, that's fantastic.
Dynamite drop in money.
Wow. I'm now more learned thanks to Mark. So here we go. Tigers back out on the field, 3rd and long. Back to pass. Going deep across the middle. Oh, and it was batted down at the line of scrimmage.
That was a close.
Goodness sakes. And Tigers going to punt again, 4th and long. And just, you know, Mark, you said it best. Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. They have these flashes of greatness and then flashes of not so great. So back to punt are the Tigers from their own 32-yard line. The snap is a long lob.
That snap is, ooh.
And he fields it. That was brave right there.
That was very brave.
But they're going to mark him down at about the 38-yard line. So Pryor's going to take over at their own 38-yard line, 1st and 10. Score is 21-7 Tahlequah with 3 minutes, 40 seconds to go in the game. So still arguing about Nathan Hill and Nathan Pryor up here in the booth. The Pryor Tigers do come back out on the field. Handoff inside, cuts back to the outside. Not today.
What a defensive play right there.
We don't play Nathan Hill this year.
We do not. Next week we go to East Central.
East Central, and they have a dynamite tailback, and Tahlequah's going to they're going to have their hands full with that young man. So he rolls to his left. He's still looking down the field. There's a big-time hold, no call on the backside of the field. So I think he just throws the ball away as he was running out of real estate to run to. Tahlequah does a good job of covering and forcing him to the sideline. That's going to bring up 3rd and 9 for Pryor. Still in the same formation, trips to the west side of the field. As you words with doubles, we still got the H-back. Going up top, overthrows his receiver. There was a little miscommunication on that play. I think the receiver initially thought it was a comeback route because he stops and starts to come back, and the quarterback thought he's running a go route, so he throws it, and then that has him, he's turned his hips, he's facing the quarterback, all sorts of things wrong, and that ball sells on him. And so great defensive stand, again, by the Tigers. So it's going to bring up 4th and long for Pryor, and they're going to be forced to punt again.
If our offense can't get things going, you like the way the defense is playing.
Ball's taken deep, tries to put a move on, but he's going to be brought down at about the 27-yard line.
And Baker's frustrated. I think if he could have got around that defender, I think he may have had some room to run right there.
If you talk to Kobe, he thinks he can score every time he touches the ball.
That's right.
And that's the kind of attitude that you want to see from any kind of receiver, any kind of ball carrier who believes that no matter where they're at on the field, put the ball in their hands and they're going to go score.
That's right.
Kobe's got a big-time future ahead of him. Excited to watch this young man grow and play. He's a heck of a ball player.
Just a sophomore.
This team is young, Mark, and that's what's exciting about the future. So Johnny Football in motion. Look to run that side, hand off inside. And there is really nothing there, but he dives forward for about, what do you say, 3, Mark?
Yeah. Actually, they're going to mark him as a two-yard gain there. I don't know. I guess his knee maybe hit before what we saw.
So that's going to bring up 2nd and long for the Tigers. Got to get ahead of these chains. You like to be averaging about 3.5, 4 yards a play. I'm not a math teacher, but 4 times 3 is 12, and that'd be a first down.
Yeah, you're getting into them Tudums again, right? Tudums 2 is 4. I don't know about that stuff, but I can tell you all kinds of boring stories about history. That's why I married Mandy. She can do all the math for me.
Nice catch.
Good catch.
Nice spin to the outside, dragging him in, but that's going to be good enough for a Tahlequah Tiger first down.
Hey, and how about Jackson Jones? He's had several good catches tonight.
Is that his 3rd, Mark?
3rd or 4th, and last week there were several that he just couldn't quite make the play on, so it's nice to see him come back out and have them sticky hands again.
That's right. Jackson coming into the night's game at 10 receptions for 193 yards, averaging about 19 yards of reception. So add 3 more to that. That's really going to up his game there. Again, there's Jackson Jones again, just sitting down in that zone and just dragging folks. Running like a grown man, Mark.
That's right.
Another first down. It's just a great, they got that cover 1 there on the backside, so it puts them in a zone on this side, and then Jackson just does a good job of going and sitting down into the hole. Now we got Simeon Armstrong on the top side of the field, going to be in one-on-one coverage, especially with the way they play that safety up, because they're trying to stop the run, and so immediately Simeon's going to be over the top of that safety. So handoff inside, trying to make a man miss, but he's drugged down by 2 Pryor defenders. It's going to be marked at about the 46-yard line, so it's maybe a gain of
about 3.
3.
But this drive, compared to all the other ones, seems to have a little momentum, a little mojo. And I don't know if Coach Frisbee up here in the box has noticed something, or Gilbert has, sprinkled some of his magic dust out there. But
so they ran this formation earlier. Look for Simeon to run a post right here. We'll like to see Tate roll to his left, and then they bring Simeon like he's going to run a go route, but then he hits and runs that post to get to the center field. Let's see if they do that here. That's going to be a false start on Simeon. I have to believe that's exactly what they were going to do.
Yep, he's pointing at Simeon.
Yeah. Simeon, he's fast enough. He doesn't need a head start. But as I always say, Mark, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
Rubbin's racing.
That's right.
If you ain't first, you're last.
Don't do it right in front of the zebra there.
That's right. And he was right in front of him.
Right in front of him. I think he even checked with him. On the line, he said, yeah, okay, I'm going.
Yeah.
Through the flag. So here we go. Second and long for the Tigers. Same formation. Looks like it looks like Pryor has gone to man coverage at the top. And then they've got a over-the-top help here with Simeon. So the handoff ball.
There's a big hole.
Day-Day. He's in the second level, runs over the safety, and big-time stiff arm by Day-Day. And that's going to be good enough for a Tahlequah Tiger first down as he scampers all the way down to the 33-yard line. And that puts him well over 100 yards for the game, Mark.
And something to point out there, that's a big offensive play after a penalty that put us behind the chains. So like I said, there's something different about this drive. It just, in the young men on the field or something, there's a little bit of fire out there you see that we haven't seen in a while.
I just feel like the Tigers are ready to take a shot there with Simeon. I think they're waiting to read this safety over here that's on the top. And if he pulls over to the top to help cover the trips, I expect to see the Tigers take a shot. And that's going to be the end of the third quarter. Your Tahlequah Tigers are on top, 21, Pryor 7. So we're going to flip the field. So we're going to – who do they got out there, Mark, to kick this field goal?
I do not know, Ashley. I was not paying attention. That's a long field goal, though. I'm just going to tell you.
What would you say? That is a 35-yard field goal?
35 yards.
Here she goes. Kicks away. It's got the height, and it is, just short.
Short.
Just about 2 yards. But you know what? I don't know who that young lady is, but she outkicked Nate King.
Yes.
So, Nate, if you're listening, she outkicked you.
Yeah.
Pitiful.
He's got to get some practice going or something, because that's right. But she looked like she may be a day or two younger than Nate King, too. So might play a factor in the athletic ability.
I spoke with Nate right after that, a day or two after his failure at field goal kicking, and I do believe he almost threw his back out. So I said, Chief King, you are not as young as you think you are. So here we go. Tigers take the field, 1st and 10. Doubles, man in motion. Kobe Baker. Kobe reads that block better and goes inside, I think that's what Gilbert, you see Gilbert telling him, get inside, get inside.
And if Goodnight gets on the block, that had some potential.
So loss of about 2 on the play. All right, so here we go. Tigers back, 2nd and long. Checks the call with Coach McClure and Coach Gilbert, telling the lineman, hey, this is what we want to do. There's snap, handoff inside. Breaks one tackle.
Nothing there, Ashley.
Nothing there again. And he's rode down by a whole host of Tigers there.
That was a lot of weight falling on him right there. And he is still on the ground.
Yeah, those are the things that kind of injure your collarbones and rib bones. Hopefully he's just got the wind knocked out of him, because that was a big old boy that landed on him. Athletic staff, training staff out there to tend to him.
That's right. Bryce Rudek out there doing his thing.
He's up on his feet, walking it off. That's a good sign. Not limping or anything, so that's a good sign for the Tigers. We'll hope he's okay, and just probably hope he just had the wind knock out of him, or it looks like the way he's holding that right arm indicative of maybe a shoulder injury or stinger.
Yeah, hope it's not a collarbone. But he is holding that arm.
He's definitely holding it gingerly. All right, Tigers back out on the field.
Carson Ferguson's going to check in as
You haven't seen a lot of Carson today, but, he's a good downhill runner. I think we talk about that from week to week.
Just young.
Very young athlete. He's leading those Tigers to a 5-0 JV team. How about that? So here we go, back to pass. Again, sits down zone. It's Kobe. One man to Meese. And he's drug out of bounds and slung well out of bounds. No penalty.
Talking about that JV team, Ashley, just to let the fans know, I don't know how many people know this, but we had a transfer kid come in this year. That's a junior, and he cannot play because of the transfer. He can play JV games, but if he was eligible to play varsity, you would see him on a every down wide receiver, and he is a guy that will get the ball. His name is Tristan King.
Look at that.
That's a great play right there.
That was a good ball.
That was
a tight window. He was covered. It was a quick pass on a little out, and great catch. That's good enough for a Tahlequah Tiger first 10. So Tristan King, you say, future Tahlequah receiver?
That's right. He'll have 1 year varsity next year, his senior year, but he's a tall kid. He's athletic. And I was talking to Brad Gilbert, and he said that he will get a ball. Like, he is competitive, fast, can jump, good hands, and I know for a fact 2 or 3 of the JV games he scored 3 touchdowns in those. So he's had some big JV games.
So if you notice, Pryor moved up into man coverage. Look at him holding. That's a horse collar all day long. They're probably not going to call it. That number 70, who is that, 71? Maybe he's just too big to hit low. He cannot hit them low.
The coaching staff at Tahlequah wants that flag called, and it looked like the line judge over here was maybe motioning for that call, but he never threw his flag. That's an interesting thing to see. I've never seen that before.
That's number 71, Josh Feeling. He's listed about 6'3", 304. Now, that is a penalty. They've got to call that, and they do. Line judge. We was about to start chanting line judge, Mark.
That's
I can only
right.
hold it in for so long, and if Coach Gilbert's wife, Leslie, was up here with me, we'd be chanting line judge, I can assure you.
That's
until
right.
we get that call. It's about the third time that young man's jumped off, and they finally called him for it, so – Tigers get a break there. We're going to move forward. 2nd and 4. So if once someone calls in, they can complain on me.
Folks, I'll give you Ashley's personal cell phone number after the game if that's what you want.
There we go. Checks with lineman. Now we're ready to go. Shotgun. Hands off inside. Gets to the outside. Still running his feet, and he's slung to the outside. About a yard gain there, Mark. To about the 7-yard line. So Tigers are threatening again here with 8:13 to go in the fourth quarter. We need to get another touchdown, hold them, because we need those points, Mark.
That's right.
15 points is the max you can get in a district game, so we need to win by 3 touchdowns or by 15 points, which is, 21 is, more than 15.
Yes.
Goes to the outside. One man to beat.
He's got it,
in the
Ashley.
end zone. Touchdown, Tahlequah.
And right there, folks, that's a sophomore, and you saw the speed right there.
That Carson Ferguson there.
Yes.
He's just a downhill runner, hard-nosed kid. Great job. Way to punch it into the end zone there.
And good blocking by the offensive line.
They did a good job.
And they're going
creating
against
a hole
some
there.
big dudes.
You know, whether they're slow or not, when they're 6'3", 6'4", 304 pounds, you still have to move them. Kick is up, and it is good. And Tigers on top of Pryor, 28-7.
Just to talk about that, Ashley, I'm going to give a shout-out here to Lisa Yahola again. She's drawn my attention to something. Her son, I believe, is our center. That's number 64, Aiden Yahola. He's 5'11", 220. The guy he is going up against is 6'5", 330. And I'm going to tell you, he's giving Aiden everything he wants, but Aiden's right in there getting in his chili every play.
I'm trying to see who their smallest lineman is, and it is 203, Mark. 203, 5'10", 203 senior, Zane Turley. That's an offensive line right guard. So they feed them well in Pryor.
They do.
That Chili's must stay really busy over there. And then what, J&L's barbecue, probably about once or twice a week.
And isn't Pryor, don't they have a Goldie's?
They have a Goldie's. I bet they hit that pickle bar just nonstop.
Hey, how many of you?
Ball's loose. Ball's loose. Tigers believe they got it.
There is one Pryor Tiger upside down in that pile.
And it's Tahlequah ball. How about that? Big time turnover for the Tigers. They're going to take over 1st and 10 from the Pryor 36-yard line. I did not see who recovered that ball.
I didn't either. It was a sea of black with one upside down Pryor Tiger, as far as I could tell. Now I can't stop thinking about a pickle bar at Goldie's, and I miss our Goldie's here in Tahlequah, folks.
So I believe that they gave credit to Simon Escalera on the recovery. So back to pass. He's going deep.
And look at how
look
open.
At the coverage, and he went, and it is, oh my goodness sakes. He had his hands on it, then the Pryor guy had his hands on it. Thank God no one caught it. So pass incomplete. So Tigers, they dodge a bullet there. It's going to be 2nd and 10. Hey, I like the play call, though, Mark. Off of a big turnover right there, take a shot.
Well, and I wish we had replay, Ashley, because I would show you Bradley Pruitt. Bradley Pruitt, the closest guy to him in a white jersey, was probably 30 yards.
Oh,
and he was clapping and waving his arms, and he was pretty much at the hash for the field goal.
Handoff inside, and he's met pretty quickly. Brought down, maybe a gain of 1. It's going to bring up 3rd and long for the Tigers.
Actually, that Pryor band is loud.
They are. That comes right into our press box here. All right, trips to the top. Shotgun formation. Checks the sideline for the call. Hard count. Pryor doesn't bite this time. Plays in. Here we go. Play clock's down to 5. Steps back to pass. It's again. He's got him over the middle. And the ball's short. They're going to call pass interference.
Yeah.
That was absolutely pass interference. So good call there by the referee. As you can see, he pushed him out of the way, and then that ball just kind of died. It looked good coming out of his hands, and then it just.
It did. It lost the steam out there. It's that thick air, Ashley.
That could be it, Mark.
We've got 100% humidity, or we did. I'll check and see. It looks like the rain has stopped, so it's
the
still
penalty is
humid.
going to be good enough for a Tiger first down. It's going to be 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line. So moving the ball again. 6:50 to go in the 4th. Tigers on top of the Tigers. So Tahlequah on top of Pryor, 28-7.
Shout out to the Binghams. That's like a few weeks ago, actually, when you said question mark, Mark.
All right, so he's motioning him over. Handoff inside. Good hard runner. He's not touched for 5 yards, so it's going to be about a 6-yard pickup for Carson Ferguson. All right, so it's going to bring up about 2nd and 3. So a 7-yard pickup for Carson. Every opportunity he's given, he makes the most of it.
That is right. And that's what you want to see out of those younger classmen. Just, take those opportunities as they come.
Hand off again. Ferguson's got a man going around the corner. Oh, and he runs into his own guy. And he's drugged back, but he's got down to about the 8-yard line, and that's going to be good enough for a first down. So that's going to bring up 1st and goal for the Tigers. He doesn't run into his own guy there. He scores.
That's right. That's right. That slowed him down just enough to get one of the defenders to get their hand on that jersey. And they had a good grip because they weren't letting go. But you like the way he's running.
Checks the sideline again. Hard count. Not there. We got something going here. Moves him back over. Hand off again. Same exact play,
Same
Mark.
play.
And it's really maybe a gain of 1 on the optimistic side. It's one of the things they say about coaches all too often. They'll find something that works and they quit doing it. And they say just do it again, do it till it doesn't work.
But you don't want to go to the well too much, right? Get your hand stuck in the cookie jar.
Eventually run out of water. Here we go. Once again, hand off inside. He's still working, still driving. Look at that. Still driving his legs.
Wow.
He's hit at the 5 by about 8 Pryor Tigers. You can see his little feet just chugging. And he drives, 2-3 more yards, Mark?
Yeah.
Gets it down to
the 2. And I'm going to tell you, Ferguson, back where I come from, he's a wrestler, right? It's not wrestling. He's a wrestler. It's spelled with an R, not a W. And that guy, that was like coming off the top rope with a chair in his hand. Call him the flying squirrel, Carson Ferguson.
So Pryor, they want to talk it over because it's 3rd and short, and they realize how important this drive is because if Tigers put it in, they can all but count this thing over for them. So Tigers up 28-7. It's going to be 3rd and goal, but from about the 2-yard line. I would imagine they're about to get a good dose of Carson Ferguson here.
Yeah, that's got Eric Jones, like I mentioned in the booth, and I saw that last play hand on Ferguson, but if Christian keeps the ball over the right side, that entire side of the defense for Pryor is crashing that direction, and he would have strolled in.
Well, I would imagine if we see it, they see it, so hopefully they have something drawn in the dirt down there to get us into the end zone. A lot of coaches, too, they get tendencies. Gilbert's no exception. He likes to run to the short side of the field. It's almost like he expects them to expect him to run to the long side of the field. He says, no, we're going to run the short side of the field. He's not afraid to do it.
We've asked Brad Gilbert that before, Ashley, if you remember, about the tendency to the short side.
He's a numbers guy, Brad. Coach Gilbert is a numbers guy. He's going to run to where his numbers are the strongest. Look at him still driving.
Let's see the call. That line judge digging touchdown.
Touchdown,
Ashley.
Tigers. How about that? That is why you keep your feet moving. How about that?
That's right.
Johnny Football leading the way.
That's right.
That is fantastic. Ball was not, his forward momentum not stopped. He kept his feet driving. For all you young football players out there watching, take note of that. When your coach tells you to skip that pad level low, keep driving your feet. Strong, choppy steps. That's exactly what we're talking about. Big pile. They try to tackle high and follows that lead block all the way right into the end zone. And that kick is good. Tigers pouring it on to Pryor now, 35-7.
And here, you know, we hit that lull in the second and third quarter offensively, but here in the fourth we brought it back, and the defense has held strong. And so you put all 4 quarters of football together, and this has been a pretty good Tahlequah showing tonight.
So Tigers starting to take control now. So some scores around 5A. Collinsville 49 over East Central, 49-12 late in the fourth quarter. Claremore pouring it on to Memorial, 34-6. So kick, he's down to the 30, 35, 38. He's brought down by about 3 Tigers there.
Ooh, Ashley, we got a little scuffle, and there will be a flag, and that's going to be against the Tahlequah Tigers. Kobe Baker basically threw an open hand punch to the defender's face mask.
Well, let's see how they call that, because if they call that a punch, he can be ejected, Mark, and he'll be done for the game and for next week too.
Yeah, personal foul against the Tigers.
Well,
they did not make the.
Ejecting him, so
they did not, and it wasn't completely unwarranted. I will tell you that that Pryor defender was being pretty chippy himself.
Band has Sweet Caroline playing, as they tend to do in the fourth quarter, regardless of the score or the scenario. Back to pass, looking down the middle, forced up in the pocket. He's going to keep it. Gets to about the 40-yard line, and he's hit
big
hard.
Hit right there. That was helmet to helmet, Ashley.
Who is that, number 30? Is it 33? Simon Escalera laying a big hit on him, and they're going to have to check him out.
Yeah, he doesn't know where he's at, Ashley.
He may.
Did you see that, folks at home? Did you see that?
That was straight helmet to helmet, and
he's
still in the game, but. Trips to the top. He's back to pass. Going to the bottom side of the field. He's got a man. Cuts back inside. Says, nope, not today. That's Trey Patrick. Great open field tackle there. Pickup of about, 16, 17 mark. And that's going to be good enough for Pryor first down. So back to pass again. Same formation. Going deep. Good coverage. And, you know, there's a little pushing and shoving on both sides. Good no call, I think, by the referee. Batted away by Trey Patrick. Again, Trey is having one of the better games of the season. Recording several tackles and a great interception. Good job. I mean, that was well covered all the way and did a good job breaking up that pass. So, again, trips to the right. Tailback offset to the left. I'm sorry, trips to the left. Tailback offset to the left. Back to pass. He looks to his right. Looks down the middle. He connects. Nearly intercepted by the Tigers. He's brought down at the 12. Dylan Parrish looked like he had a beat on it, Mark, but just a little bit late.
He's got a nose for the ball. That's for sure.
So it's going to be good enough for Pryor first down at the 12. So still trips to the left. Wide receiver offset. Rolls to his left. Looking. Big time hit.
Big hit.
He's still down.
And that's good night, I believe.
That one shook him up just a little
like
bit.
I said, man, he's tough as a 100-year-old boot, that dude is.
So only gain of about 3 is what that pass was good for. So maybe their quarterback throws better with a concussion, Mark.
Yeah, I think so. Because I'm going to tell you what, after that play a while ago, the way he was hanging on to our players, yeah, he didn't know.
So he's back to pass. He steps up again. He's going to go down there at the 10. Great job there. That's Blake Korn slapping his elbow. I'm not sure of the celebration, but all right, let's do it. Yeah, the ref actually sent the quarterback back to his huddle a while ago.
Yes.
He appears to be okay now. So, fakes handoff inside, trying to cross across the middle. Let's see. Ball is incomplete.
They're saying incomplete.
Nice play. Little play action, inside slant. That was tight coverage. Those slants are very tough to defend, especially if you're in man. So here we go. Trips now to his right. Tailback offset to his left. Checks the sidelines. Play clock is down to 9. Minute 37 to go in the game. 5 seconds on the play clock. 4. Gets the play off. Looking to his left. He's forced out of the pocket. Throwing back to the back corner. And it is caught, but it is incomplete because he's out of bounds. That's a tough throw to make across your body into that back corner. All right, here we go. Great job by Tahlequah. So the Tigers going to take over on downs. And with a minute 30 to go, I think we probably just going to be able to run the clock out, Mike.
I'll bet so. You may see the victory formation, although the Pryor Tigers still have 2 timeouts.
So Tigers come out in gun formation, doubles to his left. Handoff inside. Tries to cut to the outside. Now he's moving. He's to the 20, to the 35, to the 30. 1 man to beat. 40, 45, 50, 45, 40. Comes back to the inside to the 35, to the 31, and he's brought down. Big time run, Mark Jordan.
What a run by Carson Ferguson. What a run.
Wow. Nice job. That's right. Hit the circle button, spin to the inside.
That's right.
Up, up, down, down, left, right, left, right. BA select start, and he's got 70 yards. So minute 14 now, the Tigers are lined up in what we know as the victory formation.
They're going to let that play clock run. Mathematically speaking, they have to.
And now the student section is chanting, "I believe that we will win," and I concur with that statement. With 44 seconds to go in the game, Tigers, your Tahlequah Tigers, 35, Pryor, 7. And Mark, that's a game you want to have after a 43-8 shellacking the week before. You want to come out and put it on somebody because we're going to go into play East Central. They're not going to lay down for us.
No question. And they've got athletes, and we've got to be ready. And now, to talk about this game, we had a long stretch in the middle of the game where offense could not seem to do anything right. And those, we don't expect to score every game or score every possession, but boy, you hate to see that long. So, working some kinks out there in the fourth quarter, we got things better. And we do have a short week. Eric Jones mentions we play Thursday night in Tulsa. It's fall break week, and so football will be on Thursday. So we've got to get these guys healed up and ready to go against a very athletic East Central team. Well, folks, one more time, shout out here to Edwin Palomares, Maria Diaz-Mojica, Alicia Kuntihi, Charlotte Knott, and Amelia Garcia. We appreciate y'all watching us tonight, and we hope you have a great weekend. Big win by the Tigers. Ashley, anything else before we go?
Excited for next week. I think we have a great opportunity to run the table. We got the job done today, and let's start it again, get ready for East Central.
That's right. All right, folks, have a good evening. We'll see you later.